Shia? Sir, on your right side, man, right side.
Shia, on your right, right. We're telling to Shia.
Come, please. One on the right, one on the right. Hey, Shia.
Introducing one of his proteges. Still one dead center. Sorry.
That dude right there, ditto. The great people that I'd be able to work with, you know, and it just felt like an honest project. Like it felt really sincere, and it was coming from a real tangible place. I read the script was really good. Me and Ditto got our own process, you know. Me and the cast got really close. Me and Charlie spent a lot of time hanging out, you know, going to like the kids museum and running around New Orleans, you know, eating vegetarian, being very careful about that. Mom was really serious about that. So a lot of couscous and a lot of like Netflix with the kid. You know, and we would hang out together as a family. So like just a bunch of hanging out, palling around with a bunch of Marines too. It was all really intimate, yeah. So yeah, for sure it was intense, yep. Well, I don't even know if I want them to take anything away from it. I just want them to feel like it's okay to feel whatever they feel.
Well, I thought the subject matter was super relevant. PTSD is something that's not necessarily talked about a lot, and I thought it was an interesting story to be a part of, and I've never played this type of character before. But really what I wanted the most was to work with Shia and with Ditto, so the whole package really. Honestly, it was unlike anything I've ever been a part of. It was a very quick shoot, actually. I was only there for I think 3 weeks a total of, but it was super emotional, and really it was just amazing to watch Shia work. I think he's one of the best actors that we have, so it was really nice to be a part of that. Well, I think that it's an important thing for people to talk about and remember that soldiers go through this type of thing, and the more people talk about it, I think the more change hopefully comes from that.
I just thought it was a really interesting script, and you know, I was very excited about working with Shia and Ditto, and you know, I think it's a really important story to tell. I have friends who are veterans, and you know, who have dealt with similar stuff to the sort of the struggles that we talk about in this movie. And so in a lot of ways it was kind of close to home, and I think a really important discussion to have. And I don't think there's been an accurate representation of how the battle comes home with so many, you know, men and women. So, you know, we were training with some great military consultants, guys in the Marines, and also some Navy SEAL guys to help us with the combat stuff that we do in the movie. And you know, Shia and I got really close really early on. We met actually on a firing range doing work for the first time right before we were going to work on the film. And he's like, "Yo, we're gonna play best friends," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, well, why don't we road trip to New Orleans and get to know each other?" And I was like, yeah, I mean, we can. He's like, "Pick you up Monday." And we did, man. And we just we got thick as thieves really fast. And that was as much about getting to know each other as it was about, you know, setting the temperature for these characters and figuring out, you know, what their backstory was and you know, how well they know each other and what they've been through and where it was going to go from there. And that all kind of starts to feed and fuel the fire when you get to work. And then you can just, there's no kind of warming up period. You know the world you're in and what's at stake, and you can just play. Look, I hope there's just you know, a discussion about you know, the reality of this and the struggle that millions of families face. You know, not just the men and women that serve, that come home, you know, still having to deal with stuff and acclimatized, but also how their families are affected. And it's really, really, really real, and it's I don't think it's being talked about and handled well enough, you know, in this day and age. I mean, we have the resources to train individuals to fight and defend themselves adequately, yet it seems like, you know, when that struggle and those battles come home, you know, there's a lot of people asking questions and left kind of hanging out to dry, and that's not really fair.
You know, the cast and Steve McAvity, who has produced quite a few fantastic films. I did 187 with him back in the day, but more specifically the subject matter. You know, I think we're in a period right now where we kind of idolize and glorify the journey going to fight for our country, but not the journey coming back, and we're so quick to forget them and throw them by the wayside. You know, the things that we see in the media are all about, you know, 10 soldiers killed by Al-Qaeda, or, you know, we lost a platoon of 20, but you don't hear the 30 or the 50 that committed suicide over there. Those are numbers that are hidden. And
it feels great. It feels good to think that, you know, all the suffering that, you know, we all went through personally to make this film is worth it. So it feels good. And the audience response and the responses from the veteran community has been so great. And, you know, that's what we really care about.
Why was this a story that you really wanted to get out here to share?
You know, at the time that I started writing the film, I'd gone through a divorce, a bankruptcy. I ended up on the street. I had to sell my car, and I was just telling all these other people, it's so weird. I used to sneak my kids into that 24-hour fitness to take showers, and then spent one night just down behind that Walgreens on the corner up here. So it's weird. Like this is weird. The fact that we're having the red carpet premiere here is very crazy and odd. But I wanted to tell the story not just of me. I mean, I suffer from PTSD, not from being in the military, but from you know, my own childhood and traumas that I experienced. And so I wanted to tell the story of veterans that were in the same predicament that I was. And then really what I think Ditto's done amazingly well is he's put the audience in the driver's seat. Like, they get to experience what that's like, this disjointed reality. And also the reality of somebody who's suffering from PTSD and is in a catatonic state, that what they see is their reality. So so I'm excited, and I hope this brings attention to what's happening. You know, we have 20 veterans that commit suicide every day in this country. By the time you and I go to bed tonight, that's 20 people who, it's, you know, it's just shocking to me. I love Shia. Like, he's incredible. He put everything into this role. He put his whole heart and soul into it, and changed my life. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, Shia coming on board with this project, I was able to get my kids into separate rooms. I bought them clothes. I got them dressers. I got them beds. It's not like, you know, I mean, this suit I got donated. You know, you know, he changed my life. There's a loyalty there. There's a bond there that is indescribable. I really want people to understand that we need to have more empathy and compassion for these servicemen and women that are coming home. And really just have more empathy and compassion in general, just for, you know, our fellow men and women. But the homelessness situation in the United States is out of control. The care of our veterans is just in a really poor state. And I hope people can come away from watching this movie and have a little more compassion and empathy for our servicemen and women, and for the people that are living on the street.
It's something touches you. You know, I could be selfish, so I try to find something that touches me. And, you know, my father had epilepsy growing up, and he would have grand mal seizures, and I'd put my fingers in his mouth, which was really bad advice, to make sure he didn't bite his tongue. And at one point, I remember it hurt, and I was like, "Can you please let go?" And somehow through it all, he did, which is a big deal if you understand grand mal seizures. And so there was something about this movie that a father still saw his son through all this stuff, that just, for whatever reason, wow, this could be incredible. And then you start calling up these great actors, and you say, "Hey, man, take a look." And here we are, right? I think he's a bit of the character Gabriel, and I think he knows the character from his personal situations, and he also happens to be a really damn good actor. So it's a good combination. Also, our friendship. Luckily, the response has been nuts, and I mean nuts as in great, you know. And that's kind of like more than you know. It's nice to have a critic like you. It's nice to have your friends like you. But when you touch someone that it's maybe has a personal connection, it really, I don't know. Maybe sometimes art does get a little more special to me, at least, you know. That PTSD is a universal problem. It's not specific to vets, you know. But if you see someone maybe suffering on the street, I don't know, maybe you say what's up, you know.
Wait.
So did you like that video? Do you think you know everything there is to know about movies? Well, today I have for you some interesting movie facts. 1941, You're in the Army Now features the longest Hollywood kiss on camera, clocking in at 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Chocolate syrup was used as the blood in the movie Psycho. Hitchcock himself thought the texture really helped to make it more realistic. Now, the longest film made is The Burning of the Red Lotus Temple. The film is over 27 hours long. Film executives were a bit nervous about casting Leonardo DiCaprio as the kid in The Quick and the Dead. As a result, and to show her confidence in the actor, co-star Sharon Stone paid his salary out of her own pocket. In The Lion King, one of the bugs that Timon pulls out of a log is wearing Mickey ears. Now, this is not the only case of Disney films pulling out other characters. The genie in Aladdin pulls Sebastian from The Little Mermaid out of his bag of tricks when looking through his spell book. In the Pirates of the Caribbean series, Johnny Depp wears contact lenses that function as sunglasses so that the character would not be constantly squinting. Not a bad idea. So, did you know these facts? Which ones? Do you know any interesting movie facts? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Lisa, and I'll see you next time.